Chapter 11. The Man Who Lost a Friend. Often were they seen together, these two friends, Haj and Absalom. Wrapped deep in the mantle of friendship, they even excited envy and jealousy because of their closeness, because of the protection they offered each other. They had been called Damon and Pythias, for they held each other above all. But one day, into this haven of perfect friendship and love, crept a serpent. At first they refused to listen for a moment to its subtle criticisms and arguments, but the serpent was not to be put aside thus easily. He had not been destroyed, only cast aside. And again he came back more subtle than before, and at length one of them yielded to the alluring voice of wrong, of jealousy and envy, and turned against his friend and stabbed him to the heart. Not that he stabbed him with a knife of steel, but with a sword of hate, which cut deep and spilled the lifeblood of their friendship. And one day he came to Abdullah, this man who had been betrayed. He was dejected and downcast, for he had loved his friend well. And Abdullah, looking up from his work, said, "Greetings, Haj, where is Absalom? For to see one of you is to see both." And Haj, with sorrowful words, told the story of his lost friend and said to Abdullah, "Abdullah, thou knowest well that I laid upon him fine linens and purple, and threw about his neck a golden chain, and did show him preference in all things. And then, when another came and whispered in his ear suggestions of distrust, was it not he that run me through with the sword of hate, and left me by the wayside bleeding, almost unto death by the wounds his cruel actions and words had inflicted, and left my faith in man a shattered thing?" And Abdullah, rising, put his arm about Haj and said, "Peace be unto you, brother Haj. Recall you not the first law, thou shalt have no other gods before me? And were you not in a measure making your friend a god? Were you not setting him up as a something to be looked up to above all else, and even deifying his personality? Was it not for him that all the pearls of your thinking were saved? Then count it not a loss, but a gain, that the law of progress has forced you to lean not on your own understanding, and further to put not your trust in the shifting, changeable material, something called man, but to even turn first to God, who is good and who is thy true friend. Count him then not thy enemy, but thy friend, for he has once again brought you into contact with God and restored you to rightful sonship. And because he has snatched your pearls and trampled them underfoot, does it not teach you to guard with greater care your pearls, that is, thoughts, in the future, and cast them down not again? They are precious, and if any man seek them, be not slow in giving, but do not force them, else the swinish desire in man will rend you. In place of your pearls of love and good thinking, he would cast over your head jets of hate and deceit. These I bid you trample underfoot, for they are not worthy of else. Look yonder at the dome of the Mosque of Omar. See how it stands against the blood-red sunset. Is it not like a splendid white pearl in a glass of wine? Yea, like a stupendous reproduction of Cleopatra's glass of wine, in which she tried to dissolve the last emblem of purity that she possessed, that she might consume it. that she might consume purity and scorch its white robes with the heat of the flesh pots of Egypt. But, as with Cleopatra, though purity and goodness were submerged in the wine, they were only hidden and not destroyed. So, with your love for your friend, it is only hidden in the maddening intoxication of the wine of mortal hate. And when he shall have drained the glass of its bitter contents and wallowed in the slime of his own mistake, he will find this pearl, still unsoiled and untouched, and will prize it as the pearl of great price. Not hate, but pity is what should fill your heart. The pity that came to the Master when he looked out across the sea of faces that bespoke revenge, hatred, and anger, and lifted up his eyes and said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." Love more, that is your keynote, but not the selfish human love that possesses, but the love that liberates and makes free. And remember, if I be lifted up, that is, purified in thought, I shall draw all men unto me. Was it not said of the Master, "When thy father and mother forsake thee, I will take thee up"? Then can you want for a closer friend than he that marketh the falling of each sparrow? Go feed among the lilies, Haj. 'Tis not your part to suffer because another has offended you. He is the one to suffer, and will, in proportion as you rise above its power to touch you, as you are superior to it, for it will then find it has no abiding place in your thought, and return to its own source to destroy itself. When his words rent thee sore, was it not like the devil that was cast out of the dumb, which rent him sore? If there is aught within you that can rend you sore, it does not belong there and should be removed, for no plague shall come nigh thy dwelling. Selfish human friendship is like a grain of mustard seed which is tightly grasped in the hand. It cannot grow nor develop and is worthless. The right kind of friendship is like a mustard seed which is planted in fertile soil. It is constantly developing, and while it may be the joy of one, it is not shut out from others. There is enough sunshine for all. So is there enough friendship and love for all. That is the end of chapter 11.